Walk in the Cloud.
Everyone is talking cloud these days, but are they talking sense? In this series, we're going to talk transformation from a practical point of view, offering advice and examples to the executives who need to make cloud work for their businesses. Today, we're talking data and the cloud with Vikas Sindwani. Vikas, before we dive in, tell our listeners why you are worth listening to on this topic.
Sure. Thanks, Helen. So I'm part of Accenture's applied intelligence business, and I'm based in the UKI geography. I've been with the firm for over 15 years now, and I specialize in delivering large-scale cloud-based enterprise data and analytics transformation programs. I've delivered roughly about 5 to 6 programs in the last few years for a variety of clients spanning industries like public safety, telecoms, financial services, automotive, and more.
Perfect. So today we're going to be talking specifically to people who have the job Chief Data Officer. And let's start with the idea that most cloud marketing materials are going to spin something out along the lines of a cloud platform helps to enable data, insights, and analytics. Now, can you pick that trio apart for us? In plain English, what does the ability to do more with data, insight, and analytics mean to a business?
Sure. So cloud computing analytics helps us to streamline the business intelligence process of gathering, integrating, analyzing, and presenting insights to enhance business decision making. A cloud platform helps you to enable data, insights, and analytics at scale, and it is an essential tool for large businesses who want valuable insights from their data without having to make huge in-house investments. And by that, I mean that a cloud platform, of course, offers you scalability, elasticity, and flexibility. But then when you deliver a large data and analytics program, what you get out of that is a 360-degree value for our clients by scaling applied intelligence, analytics, and automation, and the data that fuels it all, generating immense value at scale.
And where do you see the advantages to the business when that happens?
So I can give you some examples. So one of our clients in public safety industry leveraged the cloud platform to provide advanced insights relating to a person of interest and offer a lot more accurate search capabilities to their police force at speed, which helps to enable manage crime more efficiently and also improve the operational efficiency of their force. Another example of a client in the banking industry which used the power of cloud and data to understand their consumers better, to make digital banking experience even better for their customers and make attractive offers to the high-value clients in real time.
Okay, so we've got speed, efficiency, and customer understanding, sort of a magical trio of business success there. Do you think the rise of cloud and the rise of the chief data officer go hand in hand?
Yes, and I'll explain that. So the role of a CDO mainly is about understanding the most valuable ways the business can leverage the data and information it possesses. So ideally an intersection of the business strategy with data. In the last few years, data analytics, machine learning, and all these buzzwords around that you've been hearing and IoT, they have shifted from small-scale experiments to ones that drive significant revenue for organizations in all types of industries. So with this shift, the CDOs have become important leaders which are focused on maximizing the value of data and revenue these initiatives produce in the cloud. And cloud is the vehicle on which such a large-scale transformation can be achieved.
So I know we often talk about the need for an enterprise data strategy, and presumably that fits into what the CDO has to do. How common is it to find those inside a big corporation, and why are they important?
Sure. So if a business is going to be run in a smart way, it must be guided by strategy and data. A data strategy helps by ensuring that data is managed and used like a strategic asset. Data is a critical ingredient for innovation, and the currency for business-led transformation and information. Without an enterprise data strategy, a cloud strategy alone will not be able to help you secure, govern, and derive insights from your data and provide an agile transformation of your data as an asset. So, as the amount of data continues to grow and as it multiplies, it becomes more complex to manage and extract insights. So, an enterprise data strategy is needed then to help to unify the business and technology perspectives, help to align the vision of how you use data as an asset, and define the key metrics to measure success of these key initiatives. It also helps you to reduce your technical debt and creation of an optimal operating model and architecture, which helps to manage, secure, and govern large and disparate data.
And how common are these inside big corporations?
I'm seeing a trend where more and more organizations are adapting and creating enterprise business strategies. The role of CDO is becoming more and more prominent, and it's integrated very strongly with your IT organization.
Now, you mentioned a couple of clients up top. Can you tell us more about successes that you've seen working with people who are doing it right?
Sure. So I gave you an example of the public safety sector. I gave you an example of the banking industry. I'll give you some more examples. So another example was for an automotive sector where we use the power of cloud to understand and predict the fault patterns in their cars. We used it to track fraudulent claims and effectively make better cars. So we help to improve the efficiency of the car manufacturing process as a whole, and that was helping to save, roughly between 80 to $100 million in a span of 3 years. Another example was to help catch fraud in a bank where money laundering was causing a lot of concern for the banking officials. So, by leveraging advanced AI and tools that we are seeing in the market today, which help to capture fraud, we've been able to reduce the amount of fraud that exists with money laundering.
Fantastic examples. Now, we are flooded with data right now in a digital world where we all live online. Is part of the problem having the creativity to know what to do with this stuff?
Yes, exactly. So there is a lot of disparate data. We have sources of polystructured data. In addition to the enterprise data that exists in the legacy systems, there's a lot more information that's available. For example, in a pharmaceutical context, you would have obviously information of the drug trials and clinical processes, but what you will not have is how a certain patient responds to a certain drug. And that information could be present on social media platforms or other publicly available data. So with this, the data explosion has happened, and there's a lot of untapped data that's lying out there, which is needed to be integrated in the enterprise. So, but a lot of that data may not even be useful. So it's a very important exercise first to understand in this huge amount of or petabytes of data that you have access to, what is really valuable for the enterprise, and then find ways to improve its quality and integrate it with the data in the enterprise and then generate insights. So that becomes quite an imperative.
Yeah, so that's a very specific way of thinking. As chief data officers are looking to staff up in this area, what kind of skills and traits are they looking for in their people?
So I think one thing that's really important is that as a CDO, you would want to increase the data literacy within the organization and standardize business data definitions.
So it's not just their team, it's everybody.
Yes, yes. So it's across the enterprise. So the awareness is has to happen from the business to the technology teams to the operations to the manufacturing to the supply chain to all parts of the business. And the kind of people that a CDO would want to see in the organization is people who are data literate, who can focus on monetizing and leveraging the power of data for revenue generation and cost optimization, and people who can focus their efforts on understanding the quality of data, the governance of data, which is very important, and leadership skills that are needed to manage large-scale transformation work. In addition, when data is leveraged for insights on the cloud, you have also to ensure that data is available to the business in an agile way. So you need people with backgrounds in agility, in automation, security, and people who understand regulatory compliance, because that becomes quite important with data being managed on the cloud.
I'm suspecting that's not a common skill set to easily find.
That's true. Yes, that's been a big challenge. I think overall, I'm seeing in my own projects that I run, skills like these are hard to find, and there's an increasing demand as most organizations now want to tap the power of cloud. So one thing that typically the CDO and CIO would want to invest in is upskill their people in the latest trends relating to data and AI technologies, and ensure that the literacy of data increases in across the entire spectrum of the organization, giving that 360-degree value from data.
So let's finish by thinking about the year ahead in the UK and, what a year it's going to be. It's our first post Brexit. We're coming out of this pandemic. What do you think in that atmosphere a CDO's priorities should be, specifically inside the UK?
So I still feel the importance of data increases manyfold in such a situation, because a lot of the way we do business today and the business models that existed have changed because of the disruption COVID had managed, across the whole globe, and that's resulted in how we, now differentially operate our supply chains, how we manage production and consumption of goods, how much remote working becomes important today. And that leads to a different kind of data that needs to be tapped, a different kind of operating model that needs to be created for working within the enterprise and also with your B2B and B2C consumers. So I think the CDO's role becomes even more challenging in terms of having to manage the data effectively to keep it more secure, and also create a different kind of business case that justifies the return on investment that comes from data. Also, the sourcing the right kind of data and the challenges in a silo data strategy from legacy platforms, and establishing trust in such a data become even more important. So I think the next years, I would see the data expands and explodes, and giving the need for a much stronger enterprise data strategy with these disrupted business models that will arrive post-COVID.
So lots of challenges, but also, I suspect, a very good role to have in the corporation right now.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, totally. I think it is very challenging, and I see that becoming more and more prominent, not only in the data space, but the role of CDO becomes prominent in driving the business strategy top down in the organization, as compared to a previous role of CDO, which was slightly isolated, because a CDO would be expected to create a data strategy and the principles that would drive the quality of data within an IT organization. Whereas now I see this role more and more becoming business driven. It is going to be used more and more for revenue generation and cost optimization, and also help modernize the analytics at the heart of any digital transformation journey.
So a bright future for the CDO. Thanks for joining us today, Vikas.
Thank you so much.
Chief data officers, current or aspiring, can gain more of Vikas's insight by following him on LinkedIn. And do keep an eye on your favorite Accenture channel for regular advice about how the savviest executives in the UK and Ireland are combining data with the cloud to transform their businesses. On our next walk, it's time to talk money. We'll be getting the Chief Financial Officer perspective from Accenture's Ambrose Shannon.
Walk in the Cloud.